losing about $30 billion a month in tariff revenue, and the Treasury Secretary said this week that total could go higher. The White House has been counting on that tariff revenue to offset some of the tax revenue it gave up as a result of the big GOP tax cut. So if this ruling stands,
to give money to rich people,
bigger deficit than it does
and
right
concentration
now.
Camps.
And of course, the stakes are also huge for all the U.S. businesses that are paying the bulk of these tariffs. While the president likes to say it's foreign companies that foot the bill, most of the cost is being borne by importers here in the United States. And in some cases, those costs are then being passed on to consumers.
That's what they're spending the money on.
So far, we have not seen huge tariff-related price hikes at the consumer level, but Victor Schwartz, who's a wine dealer, who was one of the named plaintiffs in this case, says those higher bills are coming.
The biggest burden of the tariffs are just upcoming, and that means that burden's going to be passed on. You're going to see some big price increases all across the board starting in September.
So consumers also have a big dog in this fight. This is a case with huge economic consequences.
Okay, so
wish we could hold the Supreme Court to be on our side instead of Putin and Trump.
The appeals court effectively stayed its decision for about 6 weeks to give the administration a chance to appeal to the Supreme Court. And if the High Court agrees to take up the case, that stay will remain in effect until we get a Supreme Court ruling. So for now, customs agents are going to keep collecting
their masters,
these import taxes.
Putin and Trump.
Importers are going to have to keep paying. And we basically have this huge question mark hanging over the economy until we get some final resolution. You know, if you're an importer who's now paying 10 or 20 or even 50% tariffs, you might say, let's hold off for a few weeks. Keep that cargo on the dock in Beijing or Brazil, because this merchandise could be a whole lot cheaper in a few weeks. On the other hand, if you're a domestic manufacturer who's been hoping to expand your factory to compete with imports, you might want to hold off as well, because that price advantage you thought you were going to get from tariffs might not last.
So